This is the ABQ Business Podcast with your host, Jason Rigby. Each week we'll interview visionary business leaders to inspire the creative power and spirit that's in every entrepreneur. Discussing strengths, weaknesses, strategies, systems, and the problems we can all solve together for a new future for local small business.
It's a rainy Sunday here in Albuquerque, which we get 300 days of sun a year. So this is kind of unusual. I come from Seattle, so I don't like the rain. I don't like the cloudy. A lot of you that are from here, you love this weather. So it's a perfect time like this morning to grab a cup of coffee, relax. And I want to share with you a tool that I think that is going to help you tremendously. I read this book called High Performance Habits by Brendon Burchard. Or Burchard, whatever, however you pronounce it. I always think of Star Trek because I'm one of those Trekkie geek guys. But it's Brendon Burchard, Burchard. And he wrote that book, and it's amazing. Basically, he took what the high performance people are doing all around the world with different cultures, and then he turned around and said, what are the habits that they do consistently every day that creates them at that level where they need to be at? So he wrote the book. Book's amazing. You can get it really inexpensive on Kindle. You can buy the hardback is really nice. He has an amazing website too. Big fan of him, podcast, everything. But he made a planner that's called the High Performance Planner. This planner, I'm telling you, is the best I've ever used because I'll buy planners all the time. I'll get nailed on Instagram stories or Instagram. I'll get nailed for a new planner and I'll just buy it because I like the idea of being organized, but it's hard to get organized, right? We like the idea of it and then being consistent, doing it daily, like morning and evening and weekly. And that's what he's done in this planner. And he introduces the planner. He says this in it. He says, with the right daily mindset, focus, and habits, you can shape an extraordinary quality of life and contribute at world-class levels way beyond anyone's expectations. I like that statement, and I like his personality. He's always optimistic with hope. And the planner's geared that way, too. It's very self-aware. It asks questions that cause you to think. And we're going to get into those because I'm just going to give you examples of them because I want to keep this podcast short. But And I want you guys to go to Amazon and buy the planner. But I think that when you're looking at high performance and having self-awareness and being able to execute on a daily basis, when you're looking at the goals that you have set, and then you go back and we're always disappointed. And he addresses that. He says, promise yourself right here and now that you'll use this planner every morning and night, no matter what. You know, I underlined that and I said, I'm going to use this. And I've been using it for over a year now, guys. I'm a ADD type entrepreneur. Oh, squirrel, let's go here, let's go there. Love this dream, love this idea. So for me to be consistent, and I haven't been extremely consistent with it where I've done it every single day for a year and a half. But I like that in the planner because it has you put the day in on the top. So you put the date in. So if you skip a day or two, which I do, then you can go right back and pick it up. So that's beautiful. It's not like you're having to skip 2 or 3 pages. So the planner can actually last you longer. And like I said, it's very inexpensive. You can even get a 5-pack of them, which I just bought. I saw that on there. They had a 5-pack with different colors. So you have 5 planners. That will last over a year. And I think it was like $49 for a 5-pack of them. So that tells you where you're at. But if you just want to buy one, first one I bought was a black one. And it's... I'm telling you, it's going to change the way that you look at your mornings, your evenings, and your week. One of the things he talks about in defining high performance is with the right life habits and daily practice, you can achieve your dreams. And you can outperform your peers, grow faster than you ever imagined, and strive with true joy and fulfillment. This planner is your guide to doing that. He also says this, and I underline this, and I love it. Of course, everyone wants to be successful. But few people create the right mindset, set real priorities, define what's meaningful to them, and review their day and performance in measurable ways that can propel their growth. And that's something that this planner, that's his theory behind it. That's exactly what he wants to accomplish in the planner. He wants to make sure that you are looking at your day and saying, have I been to service to others? How's my leadership skills? Where am I at as far as keeping track of my goals? What are some of the things that I need to focus on, not just today, but who do I need to focus on? And how can I serve them? We'll get into that. We'll get into the questions. He said he spent 20 years obsessing over this and then working on this. And he's helped executives, entrepreneurs, Olympians, celebrities, luminaries, just really extraordinary people. And he came up with this through the book. And he says, but what they all had in common was a deep desire for showing up at their best in the world, a passion for enjoying life, and a dedication to lifelong learning, and a real commitment to using their time wisely so that they could win the day. And that's something that I battle with. It's like, yeah, I need to take a break and watch Netflix. And I think that's good. I think it's good for us to take breaks sometimes. But then sometimes it's like, am I dodging something? Am I procrastinating? What's my intention with wanting to do this? Do I feel a little stressed and I want to take a break and have a little escape? Or am I know that I need to do this, this, and this, and this, and I've been putting it off, and now I'm using Netflix so I don't think about it? So I think it's really important. He gets into that. And he says this means they measurably improve their scores in the areas that matter most to long-term success. Here's what matters most: clarity, energy, necessity, productivity, influence, and courage. And this is where we look at it. And it's not really judge ourselves, but we score ourselves like a 1 to 5 or 1 to 10. He has that in there. And he starts off with a whole life assessment. And in the whole life assessment, 1 to 10, that's the first page that you're going to go to when you start working in the planner. He talks about your health, number 1. And he goes into, I regularly take care of myself so that I can feel my best. I want my overall physical and emotional health, my well-being to be primed and optimized to make me feel energetic and strong each day. I strive to eat well, sleep well, and work out. And I don't want to get into each of these because he's got a ton of them, but that's health. And then you grade yourself 1 to 10. Where am I at there? Mental and emotional. I keep a positive outlook and attitude. I'm cultivating a sense of joy and peace in my life so that I can experience positive emotions and relationships. And he goes on with that. 1 to 10, where do you rate that? Partner love. I feel a consistent, deep, trusting, appreciative, soulful, loving connection with my significant other. I am patient, respectful, and attentive to my partner's needs. He talks about that. Rate yourself 1 to 10. Then he gets into family. I'm present with my family. I'm creating deep connections and fun and positive energy with family members. 1 to 10. Friends. My immediate social circle of friends brings connection, fun, and positive energy into my life. And then he talks about that. You rate that. Mission. I feel clear, energized, and fulfilled by my work and contributions to the world. Experiences. Another one. I plan special experiences, trips, adventures, night outs, time to connect or disconnect. Spirit. He goes into spirit. I feel connected to the present moment, embodied alive in my spirit. I am congruent with my beliefs and behaviors, and I keep my faith and values at the forefront of my decisions and daily actions. That's a big one. I have a podcast on each of these, but a lot of people are religious. A lot of people go to church on Sunday or mass or whatever you do, mosque, whatever you do. But living it day in and day out, putting those values and your faith at the forefront of every decision and daily action you make, he holds you accountable to that. Finances. I am being responsible in how I spend my money. I'm saving my money for my future. I'm learning, and goes on with that. Rate that 1 to 10. Excuse me. Learning. I am curious and pay attention to the world around me so I can learn new things. And he asks how you're learning. I think that's really important. And that's your whole life assessment. He goes through all those different areas in your life. And then high performance habits assessment. 1 to 5 on these, and then you fill some math out, which is always fun for me, not really. And then you come up with a score that 100% would be like you're living your best life, absolutely perfect, everything's going amazing. But you rate yourself in these. Like 1 is seek clarity. I was intentional on how I acted today. I knew the feelings I wanted to generate today. I stayed focused as much as I wanted to. I made today meaningful. I determined something I can get better at today. Then generate energy, because we can generate energy. I managed my energy well today. I choose to bring joy to this day. I recharged throughout the day to stay energized. I worked out today. I wound down well tonight so I can sleep well. And like I said, he has a whole thing on this. That was seek clarity, generate energy. There's raise necessity, increase productivity, develop influence, demonstrate courage. Very simple to use, guys. You may think this is overcomplicated. It's not. You can walk through each page very, very simply. I really like it. I like the layout. I like judging myself like 1 to 5, 1 to 10. It brings clarity, and I think that's what he wants. He talks about when you begin the daily pages. And this is where you're going to look at in the morning and in the evening. He says this: the journey to greatness often begins the moment our preferences for ease and comfort are overpowered by our deep desires for challenge and contribution. I love that quote in the front. That's when we have that resistance. When our brain says no, because it wants to take the easy way out, but we say yes, and then we power through, we execute. That's where greatness comes from. So we all know that, whether we've been in sports or whatever we've done in life, whatever challenges we've had and we've pushed through, we know our greatness has come from that. So when you open it the first, you put your date on the top, on the far left side. And the first thing he asks you to write in, and these are all just blanks, is today's message to myself. Isn't that great? What's your message for today? What message do you want to give to the people that you influence around you? What message do you want to give to yourself? How is that demonstrated in today? You know what I found with this one? For me, it's been amazing because it changes. Messages for me, for myself, could be, I really need to connect with this meeting that I'm going to have with these team of people, and I want to make sure I'm providing a ton of value and serving them over me just talking and giving knowledge or influence. It's like, how can I serve? Compared to being ego-driven and saying, I have all this to give to you that you don't know anything about, and I do. And that was one I just did here recently on. But today's message to myself, one of the ones I have here is frustration, negative thoughts do not align with me. Think the best in everyone today. I'll randomly grab another day. Here it is, today's message to myself. Don't be bitter. Focus on what you need to do, not what other people are not doing. And then I wrote in there ants, a negative thought, to focus and concentrate on those. So really good at outlines. It's just today's message to myself. Gives you a little paragraph there. Then your morning mindset. And this is a little chart. There's 10 things here that ask questions, and then you fill it in. And I'm telling you, if you for me, I like praise and worship music. I put that on, I have a cup of coffee, and I go through this. I write my today's message to myself. My morning mindset is this. One thing I can get excited about today is, and then I write that one thing that I'm really excited about. Maybe it's a podcast that I'm doing with somebody, whatever it may be. Maybe it's a meeting that I'm going to have, and I know I'm really excited to share some new information, or I'm consulting with a new business, and I know it's going to help them tremendously. One thing I can get excited about today is maybe the weather's going to be nice, and I usually take walk runs to the park here near where I live. I don't know. And whatever it may be for you, it's awesome just to be able to say, this is what I'm going to get excited about. It just sets this tone in the morning where you can start feeling your energy moving. Number 2, if one word could describe the kind of person I want to be today, then the word is blank. And why I choose it is, that's awesome. Like here I have focus, and then, and why I choose it was so that I can make sure that I am not ADD in the sense, or that I am actually, what I was thinking about in this morning was a situation I had the day before. See, this brings self-awareness because it causes you to think, where I wasn't paying attention to somebody that had a need, and they were sitting in my office and they were kind of pouring their heart out to me, and I was like distracted, and then an email came in, and then my phone was going off, and I was listening to them and looking at my phone, and it really convicted me in the sense of that I need to focus on others and pay attention. So I wrote that. Number 3, someone who needs me on my A game today is, and then in that you can put, sometimes I put multiple people, sometimes I just need one person, whoever it may be. Number 4 question on the morning mindset: a situation that might stress me out or trip me up today could be. I love this question because a lot of times we know ahead of time that we're coming into a shitstorm, right? We know that it's going to happen. So why not prepare yourself for it? Maybe you can find a way not to go around it, but to go through the storm but be successful in that process. And a lot of times in this question, I become really creative in my thinking, and I've solved a lot of problems even before it's happened, just by being proactive in thinking about it instead of being reactive when I know it's going to happen. In this question, number 4, a situation that might stress me out or trip me up today could be whatever. He says in this question, the other part that he wants you to write is this, and the way that my best self would deal with that is. I love that. And the way that my best self would deal with that is. Number 5 question. This is all morning mindset, guys. This is setting you up. Someone I could surprise with a note, gift, or sign of appreciation is. Don't you love that? Doesn't that just make you feel great? You're like, wow, my secretary, I haven't done this or this or this for her in a long time. Let me surprise her with something. Maybe I can get her Starbucks. Maybe I can, buy her a breakfast burrito, whatever it may be. Maybe I need to write a little note and just leave it on her. I know today's her day off. And so the next day when she comes in, I'm not going to be there in the morning. So maybe I can leave a little note. Or buy a gift. I love that. Whatever it may be. And then put that person in. One action I could take today to demonstrate excellence or real value is, and then, what's that? What do you want to give value? What action do you need to take? What is one thing? One bold action I could take today is, this is number 7 question. One bold action. I used to just kind of fill something in with this, but then I began to question myself with that word bold. What's something I really don't want to do that's really bold that would help another person? What's something that's really bold that I could do that could transform my organization? What's something really bold that I could do that I know that is vulnerable, but I know if I do it, it will bring this perspective that someone needs to see in me because there's a block there. Whatever it is, be bold. What's one bold action? Number 8, if I was a high performance coach looking at my life from a high level, I would tell myself to remember that, and then you fill in the blanks. Isn't that great? So it's looking at like saying, okay, if I was your high performance coach, what would I tell you in that situation? I love that one. Number 9, the big projects I have to keep in mind that I want to take on, even if I can't act towards them today, are, you can put that in, whatever it is. You're like, I know I feel disabled. I can't do this, but write it out, put it in there. That way, it's in your mind and you know that you have clarity on it. Number 10, I would know that today was a great success. It's at the end of the day, I did or felt these things. I usually write like one or two things there because I want to keep things. I used to write 3, but then I'm like, if I'm focusing, maybe I just need to focus on 1 or 2 things. Most of the time, I end up writing 2 things on that one. I just put bullet points 1, 2. Then he goes, because this is a big planner, like I said. So now he goes into, he divides the page up into, and then the next part on the top is today's top 3 goals, priorities are. So after you go through your morning mindset, you get clarity on that. You get that energy flowing. It just makes it really easy to write your 3 goals or priorities today. 1, 2, 3. Then the planner starts at 6 a.m. in the morning and it goes to 7:30 at night, and it has 30-minute increments, and you can put what you want in there. A lot of times what I've ended up doing, because I wanted to make this kind of like my Bible, I wrote my morning routine in there, and then I just began to write everything. And then I wrote like a little check, yes or no, if I did it. Like I need to drink water for the day. I'll put that at noon or whatever, or 7:30 a.m. I want to do my morning yoga routine. And then I put a check at the end of the evening, whether I did that or not. I need to do kettlebell swings, at 7 p.m. I want to make sure I juice. That's really important to me, and put all my vitamins in there and all that. So, I have certain times for that, and I write that out every day, and it helped me with my habit. And then I put a check mark whether I did it or not. Then he has over on the side, not only does he have that calendar in 30-minute increments, he has tasks that absolutely must be done today. Absolutely must be done today. Usually I'll put 2 or 3 in there on that. And then to the far right, this is kind of for the evening time. He has one little thing in here before you get to the evening journal, but it says persons I need to lead or connect with today and how to do it well. Who do you need to lead or connect with today? And this has helped me because it's brought up somebody where maybe the week past, I remember them coming to me and having a situation and I didn't really address it effectively. So I put that in here and I'm like, okay, and then I bring them back into my office. We have a conversation and they actually say, wow, you remembered we talked about this last week. So this has really helped me in my leadership ability. Evening journal. Here's how the evening journal goes. Look at these questions, guys. A moment that I really appreciated today was Isn't that a great question for you to think about? What did you really appreciate that happened that day? Number 2, a situation or task I handled well today was blank. I want to get back to number 1 question. You know what has helped me with that one more than anything? A lot of times I'll have my phone near me, of course, and I'll just remember something that somebody did and I just text them and tell them thank you. I appreciate them. I'm so grateful that you helped me with this, or we worked together and accomplished this. So I love number 1 question. It always calls me to grab my phone and I just like to give people a little text. Number 2, a situation or task I handled well today was. This is something I think we don't pat ourselves on the back very much. And I get into conflict sometime, because I deal with a lot of people. So I get into conflict sometimes, and some of the situations I handle well, some of them I don't. But if I'm in a bad situation and I actually handle it well and then I take it good, I write that in here because I want to know specifically, and this is high performance habits, I want to know specifically what I did and how it turned out so well. And, most of the time for me, it's just being too emotional. I get way too emotional and I get defensive, and then I feel like somebody's attacking me, and then I go into, war mode. So if I don't get into that and I'm loving and caring and listening, then I know easily that I need to pat myself on the back, and I do that here on this evening journal part. Number 3, something I realized or learned today was. Something I realized or learned today. Love that one. Number 4, I could have made today even better if I would have done this. Great question. Number 5, something that could have helped me feel more connected to others today could have been, and on this specific day, this random day, I put coaching that I could have coached my people a little bit better in certain situation I had must have in this day. Number 6, if I was my own high performance coach, I could tell myself this statement about today. I had on here, be resilient in task on this day. Don't get emotional, power through. So I had different, listen to people. I had different things on this number 6. And then it gives you, at the end, it gives you a daily habit scorecard. So you give yourself a 1 to 5 on these things. There's 6 things. You give yourself a 1 to 5 and how you did for the day. Super powerful, guys. I love this. I feel it helps me sleep better because then I can look at it and say, so 1 to 5, you say clarity. I knew my why and lived intentionally today. 1 to 5, where am I at? Productivity. I worked on things that mattered most today. 1 to 5, where am I at on that? Energy. I managed my mental and physical energy well. 1 to 5, how did I do? Influence. I guided or treated others well today. 1 to 5, what did I do? I put a 3.5 on that one this day. Necessity. I felt it was necessary to be my best and made success a must. So I was awesome on this day because I put a 4 from a 1 to 5. I put a 4 on necessity. And then courage. I shared my real self, thoughts, and feelings today. That's courage, right? 1 to 5. That's your day. And it doesn't take that long. Once you start doing it, I'm telling you, and if you wake up in a bad mood and you do the beginning, the morning mindset, and your today's message to myself, you cannot be in a bad mood and do that. It will change your mood. I'm telling you guys. It's that amazing. And lastly, I want to end in, after you go through, of course, the week. And like I said, I want to keep this podcast kind of short. I know it's going over. But I want to go into the weekly. You have a weekly learning review. So at the end of the week, and I just did this today because I do it on Sundays. This one is 3 great things that happened to me last week were, and then you put those 3 things in there. What are the 3 great things that happened to you? The main struggle I faced this past week was, what's the struggle you faced for the week? And then he says, and if I were advising or mentoring someone dealing with the same struggle, I'd advise them to, and I wrote in that one, just so I can be personal with you guys, I wrote, humility comes from serving others, not putting myself first. So that's what somebody that would advise or mentor me, that's what they would say about the struggle that I was facing. 2 things I learned about myself this past week include, you put those in there. 2 things I learned about others, partner, loved ones, friends, team, customers, etc. include. This one, like today, I was doing that this morning, and I had to tell myself, I wrote a little note on the side, I was like, I'm not allowing other people to teach me as much as I should. Because either we learn, teach, right? We're either learning or we're teaching, and vice versa. Other people, we're learning from them or they're teaching us. So I looked at this and I was like, this week, I think I was so in teaching mode that I didn't take the time to learn from others. And see, this is self-awareness that brought that to me, and I wrote that in there. And then this on your weekly learning review. One decision I could have made last week to make my life better or to move ahead faster would have been. See, isn't that cool, guys? And then put that in there. And then that's half a page. And then the rest of the page on the bottom is weekly life review. Health, 1 to 5, has little bubbles, and you can put information in there. Mental, emotional, 1 to 5. Partner, love, 1 to 5. Family, 1 to 5. Friends, 1 to 5. Mission, 1 to 5. Experiences, 1 to 5. And this is if you tied it back in the beginning of the book, where you went through this. You can look at your scores, and it's really cool after several months. Experiences, 1 to 5. Spirit, 1 to 5. Finances, 1 to 5. Learning, 1 to 5. Goals and ideas for improving your life in any of these areas. And then I wrote, things down that I need to do to improve for that week on these, because sometimes maybe your work, your mission is amazing, but family took a hit. That's what I'm looking at right here. Maybe my mental, emotional wasn't that good, but my health was amazing, so, okay, well, I was consistent in working out, but mentally, emotionally, why did I rate myself so low? So it kind of gives you an insight into what you can focus on for the week to be balanced. So that's why I look at it. Because I may say, okay, I don't have a lot of time this coming up week. So I'm going to make sure I do my workout, but I'm really going to focus on my mental, emotional side of things. And what would make me a 5 in that? That's kind of how I look at it. And then finally, you have your weekly review, your high performance habits, and it goes through a score of 1 to 100. And you can just you circle from 1 to 5, you circle where you're at. See clarity, generate energy, raise necessity, increase productivity, develop influence, and demonstrate courage. I'm going to grab one here, develop influence, and this is what you circle 1 to 5. Just to give you an example, I was a role model today, 1 to 5. I guided others to thinking well today. I challenged someone to grow today. I worked on myself today. I demonstrated caring for others today. That's just under the develop influence where you score yourself. It's amazing to me looking at my scores I'm looking at the beginning of one of my first books to now, and then how I've improved. And I have to be thankful for this planner and for it helping me. And like I said, I encourage you guys, for sake of time, I want to keep this under 30 minutes. I encourage you guys, go to Amazon, High Performance Planner. I am not getting paid for this. I've got anything free or anything like that. I've paid for them all. I'm just wanting to give you tools that will help you succeed daily. Because if we in Albuquerque as business leaders develop our leadership and we're doing it right, I believe that's what's going to change the city. It has nothing to do, we can look at politics and we can look at, development, and we can look at all the new companies, and this film industry is coming in and it's going to change Albuquerque, and this is happening and the culture is amazing. We can look at all those things, but you take strong leaders that are living on mission and purpose and serving others through love. That's what transforms the city. And that's what can transform us. I'm going to give you guys a little message from our sponsors here. I want to thank our proud partners. If you are a business organization and you would like to be a proud partner with us, please don't hesitate you can go to abqpodcast.com. And in that, there's a place to contact me. You can email me or text me. I'd be more than happy we can have a discussion on what we can do to promote your business. We have over 6,000 listeners that listen to this podcast. So I'm excited about that. Not only is it a podcast, but it's also a radio show. So it gets out there on the airwaves. These are business leaders. This is influential entrepreneurs that are here in Albuquerque that listen to this. So if you'd like to influence them with a positive product or service that you have, and it matches the culture of what Albuquerque Business Podcast is all about, we'd love to have you as a proud partner. So don't hesitate to contact me on that. But thank you guys. Appreciate it. Have an amazing Sunday. I will get this out today, this podcast, because it just happened, and make sure that you guys can listen to it. Thanks.
Thank you for joining us on the Albuquerque Business Podcast. And thanks to our sponsor, RigbyDigital.com. Make sure to subscribe and share. And go to abqpodcast.com. Get show notes, resources, and links to everything we talked about today to help you navigate your journey as an entrepreneur and business owner.